I am back from my trip to Alabama, and we did in fact go to Fat Sammy's. You might recall from last week, we did a couple of drinks that were on the Fat Sammy's menu. And we were going to have those drinks while we were at Fat Sammy's and give them a try and see how I did in creating those cocktails as opposed to how Fat Sammy's does in creating those cocktails. Sadly, neither the monkey banana thing, I don't remember what it's called. It's probably called the monkey or crazy monkey or something along those lines. And the open sesame, neither one of those were still on the menu when we got there. So I couldn't do a taste comparison. Although, look, I'm going to give them props, right? They're in Huntsville, Alabama, limited on what they can get in terms of alcohol. It's a great place. I mean, they've got this great big long mural that's got both spacescapes and tiki elements because Huntsville is home to space and rocketry. It's home to space camp. And so they've got this really nice mix of that. They've got a nice little bar set up that has a little thatched hut vibe going on. It's all very, very cool. The food was point on. It was really, really yummy and good. The drinks, I just, even my traveling companions that are not big tiki fans, well, they're not, it's not that they're not tiki fans, they're not tiki files like I am. They were like, we were kind of hoping, Pooch, that you would tell us that these were because that's kind of how we were feeling about the drinks. And yeah, they were pretty meh. I think there was points where they were out of balance, either in the alcohols that were used or in the citrus component, and they were either too sweet or too citrusy. One of them
not fresh.
Tasted like Sunny Delight or Tropicana, orange juice, and that's really all we got off of it. And that was just kind of sad because they were doing everything else right. Okay, the rap music maybe not so good for the tiki vibe, but still, we'll give them props for trying. And they can always get better, right? You can always mix better drinks. You can always practice more. We should, after 135 of these, practice more making them happen on time and making sure that we can get the connection up and running because, again, we're new.
Our food was late.
Our food was late. We were lazy. I was lazy, etc.
So Amanda and Elizabeth both say welcome home.
Yay.
And Dana says, hi, friends.
Hello, friends. What do I need? I need to drink something.
We need a toast.
We need a toast. A toast. Maggie's Farm. You want me to get to Maggie's Farm?
Sure.
It's up on it's on the Barrister shelf. Nope.
Okay, well, then we're going with Hidden Harbor.
We're going to go with the Hidden Harbor. All right.
So that's what I thought.
The Hidden Harbor does not normally come with this great big flower on it. I don't even remember where we got these great big flowers from, but they just seemed like they needed to be tropical flowers on something, i.e. our bar. So we're going to drink Hidden Harbor.
Yay.
So this is a custom blend for Hidden Harbor.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. I should look at you at some point. Hi.
Hi.
I am very frazzled by getting this all together. So the Hidden Harbor White Rum, blend of American, Jamaican, Guyanese, Martinican, Bajan, and Trinidadian rums.
Trinidadian?
Yeah, like who's your daddy?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who's your Trinidaddy? Yeah, that's like who's your daddy in poly terms, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, Trinidaddy, right?
Trinidaddy, right.
50% alcohol by volume, 100 proof, so, a strong, good, solid mixing rum that, all over the place. Yummy, yummy. What are we toasting to? I mean, today's topic is not something that we want to toast to.
Right.
But.
Well, and what I want to toast to isn't a topic to toast to either, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
Hospice is a hard decision.
Yes. Hospice is a hard decision.
But
neither of us are going into hospice.
But when it is the right decision, it's a very good decision.
Yes.
And we have 2 members of our extended family going into hospice right now. And so we want to hope that their journey is comfortable and that their loved ones know that they're making the right decisions. And now I've brought you all down. So
You can only make the right decision for the time that you're in.
Right.
And, it's the decision you made. It's the right decision. Here's to them.
here's to them.
Them.
That's yummy. It's clean.
Even at 50% alcohol, there's a hint of the burn right in the middle of the tongue, but it's just a really, really good mix of rums. It would make an outstanding daiquiri. It has a lot in common with some of the Haitian rums. It feels like there's a Haitian rum in there somewhere.
I see what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the Three Rivers, but not as
Right.
in your
Right,
face,
right.
right? Yeah. Yep. Quite good, quite good. Let's see, what else we've got for you this evening. We have a brand new issue of Exotica Moderne. Yep, got tiki. See, on occasion I have shown you what these guys look like. This is essentially a quarterly magazine. I think we've been with them since the beginning. This is issue 7. In the back, you're going to have cocktail recipes, you're going to have food recipes, all sorts of ads for different tiki bars around the country. There's usually an interview or two with tiki bars or tiki bar owners. This one happens to be with the, was it Sunken, come on, I know this. It's not Sunken Harbor Club. Yeah, the Sunken Harbor Club in New York City, which has, behind the bar, there's this great window looking out at the underwater, looking out as if it's underwater. It's very cool. I really hope to get there at some point. There's 2 tiki bars, a review of 2 tiki bars in Pittsburgh. One is Hidden Harbor, one is a tiki lounge, and the author is documenting his journey of having visited both bars over the years and how those bars and he has changed. Houston, known as Space City. Okay, I don't know, Huntsville might argue with you on that one. And so there's talking about the tiki bars of Houston and also collecting the various space themes within tiki. There's almost always a highlight of somebody's home bar or tiki events around the country. So this is Step Into Tiki Noir, a tiki noir event. Just a bunch of history. So South Seas Show of Shows at the Rodney Plaza Hotel in Miami Beach. This is circa 1950s, 1960s. Some hard-hitting articles on what does it mean to be tiki and what does it mean to be tiki in an era where everybody is crying acculturation at the drop of a hat. One of the things I really like about Exotica Moderne is that there is a significant bent to music here. So there's usually an interview with somebody that's in the surf rock or tiki music realm, and up front, so there's an article with Surfer Joe, there's an article with Kitten and the Tonics. Do I know these people? No. Here's a home tiki bar. Excuse me. Actually, that's a crafter. This is the home tiki bar. This is Trader Rick's out of Indianapolis. Home bar, looks great. But up front, there is new music. So what's out in Exotica, what's out in surf rock, what's out in the various kinds of music genres that might appeal to you tiki nerds out there. And of course, High Tide Records is always prominently advertised in the magazine. So that just gives you a quick overview of the magazine. It's very cool. I always look forward to seeing it in my inbox, my mailbox.
Your
Wow.
inbox, your side of the coffee table.
My side of the coffee table when it comes in. This should not stay on the counter here while I'm mixing drinks, even though it's in a bag. House of Taboo, right? And that's where this little pin comes from. It says, ask us. After 2 drinks, we know it all. Depends on the drinks, but yeah, that pretty much is about right. Considering that we do 3 drinks here every Sunday, that means by the end of each episode, we know it all. By the 3rd drink, we've probably forgotten most of it, though. So, all right. What are we going to do this evening? I need some rye from. Do I need some rye? No, I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off book here. So I wanted to do something for Transgender Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is November 20th of every year. And on the Transgender Day of Remembrance, or TDOR, as the abbreviation, there are usually remembrance or memorial ceremonies for the transgender individuals that have lost their lives, usually to violence over the last year. I think we lost 397, transgender individuals.
It was 327.
327. So let's not artificially crank it up any further than we have to. Something like a quarter of those were killed in their own homes. It's a day where we remember that there is still work to do to protect our transgender friends, allies, people that we know. So what I thought I would do was take a look at a drink called Remember the Main and just work off of the remember portion of that cocktail. This is an interesting cocktail. Amanda, it may appeal to you in particular because it's a little bit of a riff off of the Sazerac. So what you're going to start with is an absinthe rinse of your glass, 2 ounces of rye. We're going to use for sweetener, we're going to go with 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth, and then 2 teaspoons of cherry hearing. And cherry hearing, again, acting as a sweetener and acting as a little, give it a little more depth in terms of the sweet character of that. Okay, so what we're going to do though is we're going to take that apart and we are going to do a riff on it, and we're going to make it with rum, amongst other things. So one of the problems here is that sweet vermouth is one of those things that goes bad relatively easily, and I have this bottle of Mount Defiant sweet vermouth, and it has been refrigerated ever since it got opened, and for a long portion of its opening it had carbon dioxide in it to keep it steady. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago when I used this, I forgot to put the carbon dioxide back in it, so this is on its last legs, maybe even has gone off. So we are going to do a demonstration of what sweet vermouth that has possibly gone off is like, and comparing it to the Carpano Antica, which is kind of my favorite sweet vermouth that comes in small bottles. Look at how small this bottle is. Isn't this awesome?
Those are hard to find.
These are hard to find. They're great travel.
But they do come in half bottles.
But they come in half bottles. They come in full bottles. But I am not going to open a full bottle before we go traveling somewhere. So we're going to do the Remember the Main. So absinthe rinse, 2 ounces of rye, 3/4 ounce sweet vermouth, 2 teaspoons of cherry hearing, and that's all shaken together and then strained out into your glass that has had the absinthe rinse. So we're going to make 2 of these, and for those 2, each one is going to use a different vermouth. So let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to put these in these guys. I think that'll work. Yeah, yeesh. That one needed to be cleaned a little better. All right, so let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to make this with rum instead of the rye, because I know Star won't drink it if I make it out of rye. So we're going to try it with rum. Generally, you require 50% or better rye with this, so 100 proof. I think what that calls for then is something like, but I could use the Hidden Harbor. No, we want a brown spirit. We're going to go with the Jamaican. We're going to go with the Smith & Cross standard here. We're going to go Smith & Cross and vermouth. And because we're not remembering the Main, we are remembering transgender individuals that have been lost to us. I am actually going to not use the cherry hearing. I am going to use Don Chichi Feeli's Eclectica's Tutti Frutti, because, well, that just seems like the way we should go about doing this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a spritz of absinthe, and I'm just going to shoot it into the 2 glasses that we're going to serve this in. So we're going to go 1 and 2. There we go. And those are just going to sit there. You could do this in the tried and true way of pouring some absinthe in the glass, spinning the glass to coat the glass. I'm just not going to. That's all there is to it. I'm just not going to do that. Any particular reason why? No. Because I don't want to today. Okay, we are going to make this drink to do. We are going to go ahead and start with 2 ounces of our rye substitute, Smith and Cross. And 2 ounces of Smith and Cross. All right, there we go. Now we need 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. And the one on the left is the Mount Defiance. You know, it still smells fine. And there's 3/4 of an ounce Mount Defiance. And then we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce Carpano Antica. If you still find yourself holding on to bottles of sweet vermouth and you need something to do with them, there is a cocktail recipe that we have done several times on this show, I believe, called the Tortuga, which uses sweet vermouth in it. And the Tortuga is an amazing cocktail. I love it. It is great for using up sweet vermouth. So you might consider doing that at some point. All right, 3/4 of an ounce. Then we're going 2 teaspoons of Tutti Frutti. I'm going to be a little more tootier and a little more fruitier than that. I'm going to go a full 1/4 ounce. That jigger does not have a 1/4 ounce mark on it. Excuse me. I need to swirl this a little bit because it's got sparkly mica in it, and we want to make sure we get that mica in the drink. There's a 1/4 ounce. And there's a 1/4 ounce. Probably could have done this with the Hidden Harbor. It would have been a white, clear liquid. But I still think that the sweet vermouth would have messed it up. You wouldn't have seen so much of the sparklies. Okay, I do have, look at this, I have my scoop. Remember I lost the scoop last week? I did have one. We're going to go ahead and double strain this. That was a pretty vigorous shake. I want to get the little bits of ice crunchies out of there. Ice crunchies. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. So we're going to use my Barfly Hawthorne, which is a very, very tight coil on it. Double strain. Reach over, grab a strainer. The Mount Defiance Sweet Vermouth does not have the same reddishness, same color of red that you would expect from an Italian sweet vermouth. So as a consequence, this drink comes out sort of orangish brown. And if you look through, if you're looking closely, you can see that it sparkles, which is what we're aiming for. All right, so this goes away. This goes away. Those will need to be cleaned, rinsed, etc. I'm going to throw some ice in there, and then we're going to do this one same way. Okay, not the same way, because I'm going to shake it this way instead. Ha ha! Smells yummy to me, but you know, it smells like overproof rum. Nothing wrong with that. You should be able to tell that the Carpano Antica is just a little more reddish, darker color. This one's actually much more brown And the other one is. The other one's kind of yellowish. All right, there we go. 2 drinks based off of the Remember the Maine, but so remembering our transgender fallen. So do you want the Carpano Antica or the Mount Defiance first?
I'll start with Mount Defiance.
Here is your Mount Defiance. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Brandy cherry. Yeah, so what did we do? We replaced the cherry hearing with the Tutti Frutti, but I'm not willing to give up on the brandied cherry. But we are going to go Luxardo as opposed to Peninsula. The Luxardos are just sweeter. They absolutely are. All right, there we go. That's good, that's done. That'll also, because there is some, well, sweet, goopy cherry goodness on the cherries, that will actually help the sweetness of this. So let's take a sip.
Sorry. Washing dishes.
She's not happy with that.
I'm not happy with that.
This is not your. This is
It's not my wheelhouse.
This is a sit in your leather comfy chair in the
Right.
dark study and sip this possibly with a stogie. By the way, speaking of stogies, we saw the first episode of Mixmasters. Is that what it's
Drink
called?
Masters.
Drink Masters. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we know who wins.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
don't.
All right.
You spoiled it for somebody,
Right,
Elizabeth, but
right,
not for me.
Right, and then it got who the actual winner in the end is got spoiled to me, but I'm not. It's not so much that I'm worried about like wanted to know which person was going to win. I'm much more interested in what they're making.
Right.
There's a deepness to this because it's still here.
Yeah.
There's still a flavor. I mean, it's got a really long finish, but it kind of disappears, and then there's this. What is that sitting around there? You don't have water, do you?
I do at the table.
Yeah. This is not water, but it'll rinse my mouth out. Go ahead and give that one a try. It could also be that the sweet vermouth is from Defiance is just off.
Yes, and it's still not my wheelhouse.
Okay. This is a better cocktail.
It is a better cocktail,
Not your wheelhouse.
not my wheelhouse.
Probably this has gone off.
I think so. Or is headed there.
Okay.
It is on its last legs. That's my read.
I think
Or this is just a sweeter.
this is better. This
Yeah,
is definitely
better. So
This the vermouth comes through on this where it doesn't really on this one, and I'm not really happy with that. And I'm willing to go and say that this one has just lost its oomph, and as a consequence, it's not where we want it to be. So. That can go in the sink. I wasn't going to throw away the cherry. Come on. I'm a heathen, but I'm not that much of a heathen. Really liked the Mount Defiance Sweet Vermouth. It is never going to take the place of my Carpano Antica, though. It's just, nope, not going to. Which also means that this drink is going to be mine. So, yep. This is also very reminiscent of a Manhattan. I'm going to go ahead and give it another zap with the absinthe because I think we're maybe we're a little light on the absinthe. Let's see what that does. It's the other thing with the spritzer. I can just psst, and done. clearly the absinthe comes through now. It's never going to be Star's favorite. Star really, for her mind, she's got to have, I think, the citrus component, the fruit juice component of the cocktail, or it's got to be really tart and citrusy. This just alcohol is just not her style of cocktail. I like it. I think I would like it either before or after a meal, if that makes sense. Not I'm going to sit down and knock out a series of drinks that I'm going to be drinking tonight. So we're going to go in a completely different direction. The last drink we're going to do is also a Transgender Day of Remembrance drink, but I'm not there yet in terms of what it's going to be. I'm still playing around with stuff in my head. And I'd like to get a drink in Star's hands that she will actually drink and enjoy. So I'm going to do that now. This is
spoiled.
Because she is spoiled. And this is just an oldie but a goodie. I love this cocktail. Star likes this cocktail. And it has no particular connection to the Transgender Day of Remembrance. And it is a tiki cocktail amongst tiki cocktails. So there is lime juice in this. There is orange juice in this. There is passion fruit syrup. There is falernum. By the way, hon, I'm going to need more Bitter Truth falernum. Then there is rum. But the rum in here is all one style. And that style is 151. So we're going to go lemon heart. Then there's some Angostura bitters. And this time we're actually going to use Angostura bitters. There is 6 drops of absinthe. She's a big absinthe fan, just like me. And so there's here a little dropper of absinthe right there. And then crushed ice. So that's what's going in this cocktail. All of this goes in this shaker with a bunch of crushed ice. So here we go. We're going to go, let's start with the sweeter ingredients. Passion fruit syrup. This is a ½ ounce. ½ ounce homemade passion fruit syrup, which we're probably taking with us because I don't know that it will keep. And we'll probably be making some cocktails, and you know, why not take it with us and have that as an option instead of having to come home and possibly throw it away. That would seem to be sad. Okay, we need a ½ ounce of falernum. Again, we're using the Bitter Truth. I've been using John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum for years. Years, like 3 or 4, 5 or 6, something like that. I guess that qualifies as years. A ½ ounce of this. I really, really like this Bitter Truth Golden Falernum. I think I have been converted over to this as my falernum of choice. Next up, lime juice. ½ ounce lime juice. Right there. ½ ounce lime juice. Star was making bread today, and the bread involved having to juice some oranges and getting some grated orange peel. So we have a bunch of orange juice, fresh squeezed. We're gonna go ½ ounce of fresh squeezed orange juice.
Because I cook twice a year. I make cranberry bread for Thanksgiving, and I make it for Christmas.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, cranberry bread. Not cranberry nut bread, cranberry bread.
And that's why I make it.
Because everybody wants to put nuts in it, and she doesn't like nuts in her cranberry bread. So we're going to go 1½ ounces of a 151. Here we're going to go ahead and use the lemon heart. This is one of those where it calls for a 151 Demerara, but it doesn't actually specify lemon heart, and that's kind of unusual for drinks of this era. Because the Cobra Fang is like a 1950s, 1960s era cocktail. And so you would expect it would say lemon heart on it, but it doesn't. Okay, where does that go? That goes way back over here. I'm having to be a little ginger because I'm not wearing shoes and I really don't want to smack my foot and, you know, have to yell and scream and shout obscenities on screen, because that's what would happen. 1 Angostura bitters. So things like adding just one dash of something where you may not even notice the trait, but it's there. You're not going to notice it as an ingredient, but it will add something to the cocktail. Is a trait called microdosing, and this is the premium microdosing. 6 drops of absinthe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like it so much I'm going to add a 7th. There we go. 7 drops absinthe. And this goes in the cocktail case that is coming with us. Okay, there we go. We need about 8 ounces of crushed ice. And then we're just going to zap this under the spindle blender. Star, do you want a tiki mug? An actual tiki mug from the cabinet? Okay. Feel free, grab one, whatever you would like. Probably doesn't need to be all that big. This actually isn't a huge drink. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, what do we have here? We have Lord of the Rings Geek Tiki's mug, and this would be Golem. Not Smeagol, this is actually Gollum. I know, he's not green. Give me a break. Don't care. Alright, we're just going to dump this in like such. Do you want mint? Do you want garnish in here? Hun, if so, it's in the back room.
No, I'm fine.
If so, you're going to have to go to the back room for it. Okay, there we go. Just packed in some ice here. We're going to throw in a straw. I'm getting used to the fact that my straws are over here. How about if I give you a nice big... no, that one's a little too tall for this drink. Tentacle straw be okay?
Yeah.
So here we have a green tentacle straw. All right. Yeah. This is from Surfside Sips. They do tentacle straws all the time. It's got little suckers on it. Very cool. We love them. They're awesome. Buy more stuff from them. If you want to buy things from them, you can, certainly not obligated to, use promo code LOVECRAFT, that's Lovecraft for Lovecraft Cocktails, and that'll get you 20% off on your order, which is a very nice thing. It also gives us a little back, and like, what was it last time we were broadcasting, we mentioned Surfside Sips, and someone turned in an order because it came up when we did our link, and we realized that we'd gotten like $3 worth of credit or something along those lines. So here we go. This is a Cobra Fang. Like many of the various Cobra drinks, there's a Cobra drink, there's a Cobra Fang, there's a Cobra Tail, there's the King Cobra, there's just variations on this sort of thing that has lime, orange, passion fruit, and rum in them. They often have like a snake, like an orange peel, like a snake coming off of this, which is just very attractive and very cool looking. There you go. I'm assuming you're going to like this. You've had this before.
Yep.
Yep. All right. There
That's
you go.
more my speed.
That's much more
Did
your
you get a
speed.
taste?
I did not. Can I have
You
a
can
taste?
have a taste.
Okay. You can have a taste.
A taste.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so good. So good. All right. Next up, we're trying to run through here. We are at 8:15 already. We got a late start. I'm not really sure what we're doing here with this cocktail. I know what I want to put in it in terms of ingredients. And had I had more time, i.e. if I had gotten off my butt today, but I was just tired. I would have played around with this and gotten proportions right and figured out layering, that sort of thing, but I didn't. So, Transgender Day of Remembrance, we're talking transgender. The transgender flag has blue in it. The transgender flag also has pink in it. We're going to go with the Tutti Frutti as pink. It does not, however, have any red in it. But we're going to go ahead and use this red. in the cocktail. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this and the Tutti Frutti together, and then pour that over the Empress in a tall glass, like probably a Pilsner that actually has crushed ice in it. And I think that will be very pretty, and it will also should cause a color change from the Empress Gin. So the Empress Gin is also infused with pea blossom flowers, and those will change color in the presence of citrus. And you're like, well, okay, Pooch, that's not citrusy. That's not citrusy. Where are you getting your citrus from? This is a hibiscus tea syrup. And what I did is I just brewed some hibiscus tea, and then I put twice as much sugar in it as there was tea, so actual liquid tea, to give me a 2-to-1 hibiscus tea mixture. Still no citrus in that. And this is gin. Gin and lime, they play okay together, but I wasn't sure how this would all play together. So what I decided to do was like, I'm just going to take this, and since I don't have any lemons, I am going to correct this for its citric content and acid content, and I'm just going to add a little citric acid to it. And so I did a little bit of research figuring out about what I should put in for the citric acid on this, and it seemed like it was not as tart as I would have liked, and so I kicked it up just a little bit more, and it's been sitting infusing with the citric acid, and so this should be tart. Yep, that's very good, very nice. Much tarter than the straight up hibiscus tea syrup. So we're going to give this a shot. Worst case scenario, I can in fact add a little lime juice to this to mix it up just a tad. All right, Pilsner glass. Pilsner. I have a Pilsner, really. I do. It's down here, way down there. There we go, right there. Okay, we're going to add some crushed ice here. Just like that. 1 glass crushed ice. Ta-da. We're going to go 2 ounces of Empress Gin. Just pour it straight in here. There you go. There's your lovely blue color. Okay, next up, I want to combine these two. So I'm going to take a small glass, like this. I'm going to go a 1/2 ounce. Let's not knock that over. I'm going to go full ounce of the Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
That aside. I'll set this over here. I'll swirl this around. And I think you might be able to better see. Not sure if you can see the mica chips in here swirling around. You can definitely see it looking down in the glass. I'm not sure that looking through the glass you can actually see it. Okay, so we're just going to swirl this around a little bit. Set this down. Straw. Probably a good idea to put a straw in here. Long straw. Not that straw. How about one of these? That'll go right in there. Okay. If this works, we're going to get color change. There you go. there's your TDOR cocktail, the Transgender Day of Remembrance. I'd put a, you know what? I'm gonna be right back. This is just way too pretty a cocktail to not garnish up. And well, we have cocktail orchids, so we're gonna slap a poor dilapidated blue cocktail orchid on that.
I think it's the last day of the cocktail orchid.
It's getting pretty close, yeah. Hold on. These guys seem to be doing okay. Just reach in here. We're gonna grab one of the pretty purple, not purple. I don't know, kind of purplish,
Kind of
purplish, fuchsia.
Are you getting all the flowers?
And then we got the wee bitty flowers here. These guys are lasting better than the orchids are. All right, so that goes in there.
They're not as persnickety as orchids.
Oh, that's true. Which probably means they shouldn't go in here because we all know how persnickety the queens can be. All right. And then one really purpley one. Right.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, now, is this mixed? No, it is not at all mixed. So I have no idea what this is, so we're going to do this. It's interesting, you can see the mica chips down here.
You can see the mica chips. You can still have some blue up at the top.
Yep. If I really wanted to, I could pour a little more Empress Gin across the top and we'd get a little better blue. But I want to taste this, because this is pure, like,
Speculation.
Speculation. I'm okay with that. It's a little on the sweet side. It's got an evolution to it.
That is nice.
It's very flowery.
I like it.
Yeah. It's going to go away.
Yep.
Bye-bye. So there you go. Could I tart that up a little bit with adding a little bit of lime juice to it? Yeah, and it probably would be a little more to my taste. I think it's a little on the sweet side at the moment. It needs a little more balancing. But, you know, it's perfectly good for my dear wife. And I think it's a perfectly good cocktail to end the night on for the Transgender Day of Remembrance. I would say let's do a moment of silence, but we kind of did a moment of silence up at the front when we couldn't get anything connected. Go back and have some more of the Remember the Fallen. I think that's what I'm calling this, is Remember the Fallen. I need to change out the rums, though, instead of using the Smith & Cross. It's too heavy a rum for this. It is actually higher proof than the recommended rye proofs for this, and I always have a little bit of a trouble balancing the rum and vermouth in cocktails. So I may go back to the Tortuga and see what they're doing there and see if there's something I can learn from that particular cocktail that will make the Remember the Fallen a little more interesting. Hopefully we will see you all next week, and we'll be probably broadcasting on the road, is my guess.
That's my understanding.
So we shall see what we shall see next week, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you so choose to celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, enjoy your Chinese food meal, and we will talk to you next week. Way too much work to get done before I can go celebrate Thanksgiving with chosen family, but it'll all get done. We'll all have a good time, and then it's the run-in to the Christmas holidays. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that it's actually here? I can't. All right, this is Pooch. That was Star. Together we're Lovecraft Cocktails, and we're going to sign off for another week. This has been episode 135, the Transgender Day of Remembrance 2022 Quarantiki. So we will talk to you later.